Let me tell you a story, woven from threads of partnership, collaboration, and teamwork. The story of Crete United cannot be written without our partners. And to truly understand Crete United, you have to hear how each partner's story began. Let's start with the story of Dynaire.
It's amazing that you can look at these photos from 50, 60 years ago and still recall those people and say, oh, I remember Bob Goscio, and oh, I remember that Christmas party. It's personalities and those parties and picnics and fishing trips and baseball games that we all went to together. One of my earliest memories of my father was, as a kid growing up, he worked very hard, and I remember summers not really seeing my father much because he'd be out selling residential air conditioning units. But I do remember sitting at the kitchen table eating dinner with the rest of my family members and listening to a radio commercial about Dynaire. So I always thought that was kind of cool. That's one of the original signs of Dynaire. Look at that phone number, PR5. Pioneer 5, 2122. Air conditioning was a new technology back in the days. He was out there, and quite remarkable that he sold as many AC units and became well known in the area. Every time he bought a new van, he would drive it home to our house, no lettering on it. He would beep the horn, and my brother, my sister, and my mother would all get in the truck, and he would drive us around the neighborhood in the new truck. Every time he got a new truck, and we'd be sliding all over the back, and but every time he got a truck, he would bring it home, and we'd have to take a ride in it. That was pretty funny.
So this is before computers were mainstream. Glenn brought computers to this office before computers were even computers. That's a big giant mainframe computer, and we had all the computers on the desk.
The Dynaire?
Yeah, the Dynaire.
What's interesting is we all brought something different to the table at Dynaire. My father started with residential. Glenn came aboard and brought the company to commercial. I came into the company and eventually moved it into a more industrial. All the different generations have brought different things to this company and made it what it is today. I think our father would be very proud of what this company has become, from one man to over 50 employees. His territory used to be an area that was maybe 30 miles, and here we are today doing work in Denver, Augusta, Georgia, North Carolina. You know, Glenn and I are at the end of the line. It's a goal of mine to make sure that Glenn and I leave, that this is in good hands with other people that can run this company and support the family. So I feel comfortable knowing that in the upcoming years, when Glenn and I maybe change path, that Dynaire will be strong to move into the future with the help of Crete. At the end of the day, I think we're both happy that we made this decision.
The history of control air systems, our grandfather started it back in 1967. Traditionally a ductwork installation company and sheet metal fabrication. Our father took over the business in 1984 and then began to grow it himself. Justin started with the business shortly after in 2001, and then I ended up joining in 2013.
Some of the secret sauce that I think Reed and I have is different generations. I'm much more of an old school mindset, and Reed very much understands the newer school mindset.
It used to be a pretty old school place when I came in, and I remembered, and I had a coffee that I had brought in, and Justin walked up to me and saw the coffee on my desk, picks the coffee up and drops it in the trash. I was like, what was that for? And he goes, coffee is for break, it's not break. I was like, dude, like how old school can you be? But that was how the company was operating, and we've come a long way since then. Coffee is allowed everywhere. The small changes that we made together that I think helped the company take a bit of a turn.
I once read, things are different now. The older generation needs to adapt because the newer generation is taking over. And for that, I tip my hat to Reed in helping us solve that riddle.
In 2016, our father got sick, unfortunately, and that's when Justin and I started to take on more direct management of the company, having him as a mentor still, having him to bounce ideas off of. And then in June of 2018, my father unfortunately passed. But at that point, we had talked about this so much and he had prepared us so much, and we all felt great that the company was at a point where we were ready to step in and take it to the next level. Taking over a family business has a certain pride that comes with it and a certain pressure that comes with it. It's truly a legacy that you're protecting and that you'll never be able to fail because it's everything that you have. And to have my brother there with me, shouldering that burden, it's made it more fun. It's sometimes more challenging and more pressure because the two of you are holding so much up. But it gives you that endless energy to do what's needed, always do what's right, and always have integrity, always be honest, because at the end of the day, you're looking down on something that our grandfather and our father built, and you're not gonna let that fall.
I couldn't be prouder than working with my brother Reed. I've always joked that I couldn't work with anybody else. I needed his fresh attitude, his different look on life. It's been so refreshing. He's so courageous and brave, and he's got such a fantastic client perspective that it's just amazing to watch.
Working as brothers couldn't be any better. It gets challenging, but it's challenging for all the right reasons. Justin has always been the guiding force. You've always been the one that's pushing the company forward, always the one with the vision of where we're going to be. And then in 2022, we joined Crete United with the hopes of getting to that next step. We wanted to take yet another leap into the next stratosphere of success as a mechanical contractor and beyond. And Crete has really helped us create that vision and understand what our next steps are, and now we're excited to be executing on it and growing.
In 1965, Dad married Mom, and he was a union electrician. He traveled the country. He loved working on big electrical construction sites. But I was born in 1966, and so a year later, he was ready to come off of the road, and he decided to hang out a shingle and start Crosby Electric Company. At the time, Crosby Electric was one truck, 2 extension cords, 2 6-foot ladders, 1 8-foot ladder, and some small tools. Over the next 20 years, proceeded to build a successful electrical contracting business.
My mom would have to sit at the front desk in reception, and they would walk in the door, and 10 feet away is my dad laid out like a corpse, snoring his head off. And she would just say, well, if you want to speak to him, there he is. You're going to have to sit down here and wait till he wakes up.
My brother and I were raised with Dad building an electrical business. By the 1990s, Harvey and I were in the business, and we complemented each other well.
In 2005, Business Alabama magazine named us as one of the 10 top subcontractors in the state. And I remember seeing that and thinking, this can't be right. I mean, this is just Crosby Electric. It gave us the confidence to know we're not perfect, but we have good people, and we can do almost anything we put our minds to.
In 2014, I decided to buy my brother's share of the business and most of my father's share of the business. And there was some freedom, but also the responsibility was incredible. Around 2020, I said, I need a partner to take us where we can go. On August the 1st, 2022, we partnered with Crete United. It is scary when you go to partnering with someone, your business has your name on it. Your reputation is tied to it. Crosby Electric's still out front there. Crosby Electric is still on all of our trucks. And when you choose to partner with somebody, you're putting your reputation on the line. They appreciated the 60 years that my family had risked everything to keep 60 to 120 people employed. Partnering with the wrong partner means the team that you love and that you spent your life building is going to be mistreated or mismanaged. Crete has absolutely been the right partner. Not only is it good for your team members, they're excited about it. The Crosby story is 58 years old. We are doing more revenue than I ever dreamed we would do. And truly, I'm excited to be building the Crosby Electric that my dad and my brother and I, we always dreamed of. And the partnership's been a win-win, and I believe the future's even brighter as we move forward.
My stepfather actually owned a plumbing business in Birmingham. He retired from a local contractor. He was looking for somewhere to invest some of his money, and we were looking to start a new business. So we actually partnered with my stepfather, closed his plumbing business, opened Metro Mechanical in '97. And my plan was that if I could sell enough service work, maintenance contracts to pay for our overhead, every dollar we made on a replacement or a repair was profit. Fast forward 22 years, and I looked up and I said, where are we in our journey? And basically I realized I would have to live 200 years to meet my goal. But what I did have when I looked up was a very successful service business with 25% of my revenue coming from maintenance contract work. I remember a funny moment at my first sales meeting with Carl, my business partner. It was at the Birmingham race course, and they wanted to know what our capabilities were. So I just spew, we got whatever you need. We have cranes, helicopters, trucks, anything we need to accomplish the job, we have it. We walked out of there and my business partner was like, what do you mean? We don't have helicopters and cranes? And I was like, no, but we can get them. There was one time he actually tied his harness to the back of my harness. I didn't do it, Dwight. So anyway, he outweighed me by about 100 pounds. So he hooked my harness to his and drug me back and forth along the lawn on a business that we were working on. He got a laugh out of that, and we still talk about that. With Crete United, Metro Mechanical has roughly 45 employees. We also enjoy the support from at least 45 Crete employees. That could be from our national salespeople to Q's, Kyle Cox and his group helping us start plumbing, from Mike Cox to Kyle Greer to Lee to Dwight. So many people touch us. It'd be difficult to do what we're doing now, to take the next step without the support of Crete. We can compete more with maintaining talent, attracting talent, more of the same benefits as a large corporation. I'd say being a part of Metro and the president of Metro for many years has changed my philosophy on running a business. Prior to Metro, I was just an employee. Didn't think too much about the other employees around me, but when you are the sole provider for income for many families, those things become more important. It means so much more to us to see what happens with Metro and when we're gone, which for me, it's not going to be anytime soon, but it's important to know that our employees, especially those that are going to be around here for a while, are a part of something that won't go away just because somebody steps away from a business.
I don't know what my position is. Head flunky.
Started in 1984 in our living room.
My wife and I just decided that if we were going to do something on our own, that was the time to do it. So we took a leap of faith. Relationships are what we build everything on. I have performed weddings for the people here. I have spoken at quite a few funerals for former employees or their family members.
It's true.
We're one big family.
We have 7 father-son duos in this company. The people here matter to us.
Our employees are the most important asset there is.
In 2001, when I came back. April's daddy opened a door for me to go to work for a big company, and the older I get, the more I realize I've done nothing. And that's what I want my son to see too, is that, man, you just got to walk through doors that people open for you and be a part of it. So, hey, we owe a debt of gratitude to Crete for buying our company. It blessed our families, it blessed us immensely, and we're thankful for that. But we were only able to sell this company because of the 99 people that work here. It wasn't because of us. I mean, yes, you took a risk, we all took a risk, but we had nothing to sell had it not been for the relationships we have here and the people we've got here.
88 drives an hour and a half, 4 days a week.
Hour and a half over, hour and a half back. 3 hours on the road just to be here with this group of people.
Why?
Because I like y'all.
Love you.
He and I have been friends since 1977.
And I was 3. I was 3 at that time.
So relationships are what we build everything on. The company that I was working with this morning, I've been doing their work since 1977.
Before you started this company?
Before I started this company.
I ain't there. That'd be 50 years in 2 years. You think you can hold on to that customer that long?
I don't know. We're gonna try. I like people. And I'm gonna treat people the way I want to be treated. So that's not hard for me.
Our partners are our greatest asset. Each story is unique. Some began 50 years ago, when a founder took a leap of faith and built something from the ground up. Others began more recently, with a new generation ready to take on the challenge, to lead, to grow, and to continue a legacy. Your story is still being written. Our partners' stories didn't end when they joined Crete. They simply began a new chapter. Every journey, every risk, every milestone adds another line to the collective story we share. Because together, these stories form the heartbeat of Crete United. It's about families, relationships, and the belief that we're stronger when we move forward as one. Thank you for trusting us with it, and for being part of the Crete United story.